Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun on Hilchos Tefillah Siman Kuf Yud, table enabled. So we're learning Orach Chaim 110. In Sif Aleph and Beis, it talks about a unique tefillah called Havinenu. Basically, it's a concise form of all the 13 brachos, summarized into one bracha. If you're in a place where, let's say you're in Manhattan, you're walking in Manhattan, and you're worried you're not going to be able to have daven and work or daven at different times, so if you stop for too long and you stand still for your Shemona Esrei, people are very busy in Manhattan. At least they used to be. I don't know post COVID what it's like. People bump into each other. There's so many people walking the streets of Manhattan. People are going to not tap you on the shoulder. Move over, sir. So you can daven a very Shemona Esrei, which is the first bracha. You're not in a situation of danger. You're not Harlem over here. There's not a safari over here, but it's a place where in the jungle. It's a place where people are going to interrupt your Shemona Esrei, so therefore you daven the first three brachos, the regular first three brachos, the last three brachos, and the middle bracha, this condensed version, Havinenu. When you come back home, after you're done with it, you're yotze your tefillah, because technically you said all the bakashos in that one bracha, but there's a halakha that you have to say it mu'umad. One of the kepedas of this halakha is you have to say Havinenu mu'umad while you're standing up, as opposed to we learned earlier, Hilchos Tefillah, that if you're riding on a bus or you're riding on a train or you're on a plane or something like that, you don't really have to get out of your seat. You can even sit down and daven if you're going to have more kavanah sitting down. Here, you have to be standing when you do this. So what's the difference? The Prima Gadim wonders whether this is even ma'akev b'di'evet. I would like to say maybe it is ma'akev b'di'evet over here. As I mentioned many times, the purpose of tefillah is to gather your thoughts, and specifically gather your thoughts in the 13 bakashos in the middle of Shemona Esrei, which remind you of all the needs and wants you have in life, and all what you need, and that's the purpose of remembering all those wants and needs and talking about them, is to get you to think about how it applies to your life practically, how I can use my talents and strengths to get those wants and needs that I'm asking for in these brachos from Hashem. It's really to remind you what I need to do to get these, and what I'm possibly that I can do. It's sort of a beginning of your hishtadlus, how you're planning your hishtadlus, how I possibly practically can get from point A to point B. So when you're davening Havinenu, when davening Havinenu, so you're doing a condensed form of these 13 brachos. You're in one bracha, you're saying 13 bakashos. It goes very quickly. When you're mu'umah, when you're standing, so omed al das, the phrase is you're pausing, you're stopping, you're standing when you're not in a comfortable position. When you're sitting down, you're in a comfortable position, your mind wanders. When you're standing, you're very concentrated, you're very thinking. So the whole point of Shemona Esrei is to be focused on these 13 bakashos. If you're saying it very quickly in Havinenu, your mind has to be very sharp, your mind has to be very alert. You have to be thinking very carefully and clearly. So you have to be standing in order to get out of Shemona Esrei. You're supposed to get out of Shemona Esrei. When you're riding on the bus or on the train and you're allowed to sit down, you're saying the entire Shemona Esrei. Even though you're sitting down, but even though your mind will wander a little bit, it won't wander that much, because you'll be in the 13 full brachos for a long time. You'll be able to, even if you miss one or two brachos, you'll be able to catch up and remember where you are now and what your strengths are and what my questions are. What do I need? How do I get them? So you'll always have time for that. The problem is having you have no time. The 13 bakashos goes so quickly. So you have to be mu'umad. You have to be standing in order to make sure that you properly concentrate on the main part of Shemona Esrei, what your bakashos are, what you need, and how you plan on getting what you need. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.